Welcome everybody in YouTube land. This is episode 2 of the ERA Weekly podcast. Got a couple of new guests here with me today. We have, basically Forged Motorsports, two members of them. Matty D, driver of the 31 in the Cup Series, actually Cup, Xfinity, and coming into the K&N Series this year. Matty, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
And we have last year's Cup Series Daytona 500 winner. I believe driving the 46 this year, right, Tabor?
Nope, switched it to the 8 car.
Oh, he's driving the 8
Yep.
car. I believe he got that from us last year in a trade. Cody Tabor. Tabor, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Good. Appreciate you guys coming on such short notice. I know we had some scheduling snafus here with me and some other ones. I guess let's break down to it. We have some news here coming out of the ERA, some actual driver signings for this week. Longshot Motorsports officially signed John Eric Diekman to a one-season contract for Xfinity Series. He will pilot my 28 car, and in the races that he doesn't show up for, I will be driving the 28 car when he's not there. So pretty much one car going for the owner's title in the Xfinity Series, and pretty good signing. Diekman did win the K&N Daytona race. I'm wanting to say the first one we had.
2 years ago?
Yep, 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, heck of a signing. I know Xfinity is going to be a lot heavier on the road courses, so he should fit in perfectly, and probably gain a couple wins for the team.
Yeah, he's been on them a lot lately.
Yeah. Also, River Rats Racing, it was A2M Racing, recently changed their name, and they have signed Larry Leach and Mike Aiello. I believe I have that name right, to one-year deals. Aiello, I believe, ran ASA back in like 2002, 2003, so he has some real-world racing experience. And I don't know much about Larry Leach. He made his debut in that preseason race that we're going to talk about later, so the Spooner's team is getting a little bit stronger. To add on, a lot of guys in that team that's still out there learning. So hopefully, we wish them the best. Also, I don't know if you guys were aware of this. ERA has a team doing the Daytona 24. I'm gonna try to get the names here. Okay. So yeah, sorry. The teams, the team that are running the Daytona 24 will be Jonathan Christopher, Jesse Kaplan, Jonathan Wall, and John Eric Diekman. I believe they're running. I believe Friday.
I think it's Friday, and then
yeah.
I think Toby is a shoe-in in case one of them can't make it, I think.
Yeah, I believe Toby's on standby, or Toby's going to run too. I know you could do more than 4.
Yeah, as long as you have a minimum, I think, of one driver, and you can have up to 16.
Yeah. I believe Toby might actually be streaming it, so I have to get information to everybody from the group page on that. So, go ahead, Matty.
Now that'll be if it's 4 of them, that'll be 6-hour stints.
Yeah, unless Jesse wrecks it.
Well, last year,
he did it last year.
I think they got an hour in last year, and Jesse wrecked the car.
Yeah.
But I think they'll live and they'll learn this year, not make the same mistake. Yep. I wish them the best.
Yep. Hopefully they can last a lot longer. So before we get into our Daytona race, I figured we'll get into some real world news at the moment. And I guess where you want to start, Tabor? You want to start about the new NASCAR package, or the big tweet that blew the sim racing community's lid off?
We'll start with the package there first. We can get into that since it's kind of short, because I know the next one kind of be a little lengthy of a topic. So
yeah. Go ahead and take us away, Tabor. You know more about the short track package than me.
All right. So last year NASCAR changed package for all the Cup races, pretty much, with like short tracks having a 750 horsepower package, and like super speedways and mile and a half having a 550. So NASCAR rectified their decision for this season to change the package. Once I get the right topic up here, I will talk about it a little bit more. But NASCAR went through, changed the package for 2020 at short tracks and road courses. So basically, what NASCAR will be doing, they will be changing the rear spoiler. It will be going down from 8 inches to 2.75 inches, and they will be cutting the overhang of the front splitter on the car. It will be down to a quarter of an inch. That is down from 2 inches, so there ain't a lot much of a splitter there. And then they will have 2-inch wings. I don't know what that means. I haven't. I guess that's something new that they did, but it's reduced from 10.5 inches. So, and then they alternated the radiator pan, removing its vertical fencing in an effort to reduce front end downforce. The dimensions of the pan will stay the same. So basically, what it'll be like the 2018 cut package for short tracks with a 750 horsepower engine, which I think that might be the same as the 2018 horsepower. I can't remember. But I mean, I think it'll fix the short track races. I know a bunch of us from ERA and going to Martinsville in May. So that'll be interesting to see because I think that'll be the second or third short track race of the season. I can't remember what the schedule changes this year. Maybe the second for Martinsville because I know we got Bristol as the first race. So I guess Bristol will be seeing the Cup package in the first race. So
that's kind of like when Bristol first seen the new CFT. So what? I know you're a big NASCAR follower. I'm not so much. I don't know about Maddie, but so what is this package trying to resolve, Tabor?
Well, trying to fix the whole situation of one driver getting clean air at a short track and dominating the race. Because if I think we go back to the spring race at Martinsville, Brad Keselowski led 400 laps out of the 500, and nobody else could touch him. It was just the guys in second; they would just be racing by themselves, and that's going to try to fix that to bring the cars closer together. They're going to have less downforce. So, I mean, it just plays out. I don't know with the horsepower how it'll affect anything, but I mean, it's something we're just going to have to wait and see. But
User joined your
I think
channel.
NASCAR's going in the right direction for this package. I mean, they got the next gen car coming up next season in 2021. So, I mean, it can only go up. So.
Yeah, I agree. Right now, joining us right now, I just come in a little late, is James Panko. James, how you doing?
Good. Lucky I just got home from work.
Yeah, I know we're kind of doing this a little off schedule. I know we had some snafus there, but yeah, we just got done with the NASCAR discussion about the new package, and yeah, that new car, also that new car coming out. I think literally this entire package that we've got right now is just a placeholder until the new car comes out.
Yeah.
I think
I literally just read that article.
Yes.
Well, that's also with the new car, they've got, I think it's next week, Eric Jones will be testing it at Homestead Miami Speedway, and that'll be its first mile and a half test, so we'll stay tuned on that one and kind of keep an eye out for it, because they've had Austin Dillon tested at Richmond, and Joey Logano tested it at the old ISM Raceway, now Phoenix Raceway again, so.
Yeah.
So they had a Ford, Chevy, now Toyota.
Toyota, yep.
I guess they're afraid Kyle Busch would wreck it.
Yeah, that's good. And again, I think iRacing, I literally think iRacing, whenever that new car out, they're going to be on top of that. I think NASCAR's not going to let them slack like they have in the past with getting new cars and new stuff out. So.
Oh joy, another $20 I'll have to spend.
Well, iRacing's normally good about giving people the credit, so hopefully, yeah, we'll be taken care of. I guess another one, Tabor, you can take control of. There was a bit of controversy. I know. I don't know how Maddie and James are on Twitter. I'm not a Twitter guy, so this kind of blew up.
Not a big fan.
This kind of blew
Death
up on
to
Twitter. Yeah, this kind of blew up on Twitter not too long ago, and I mean, from a guy in the wrestling business, I knew that at one point in time there was going to be somebody kind of, saying negative things about the esports community. So I believe Tabor might have that tweet lined up for us and take it away.
Yeah, so basically, what happened is the backstory is so iRacing held its eNASCAR Driver World Championship media day at Charlotte, where NASCAR is based, NASCAR Productions, in downtown Charlotte. So they did all this thing, like they come out, they did pictures, they announced teams, the whole 9 yards that real NASCAR drivers do. So Doug Coby, if you don't know who Doug Coby is, he's a 6-time NASCAR Wheel and Modified Series Tour champion. Races up in the north. He posted a tweet on Twitter. He goes, today on social media, me and I almost probably say his name wrong, Justin Bonsor, and I saw people who drive race cars on computers having media day announcing sponsorship with Junior Motorsports and hanging with Denny Hamlin on Lake Norman. Makes real race car drivers want to puke. So I see where they're coming from, but I also see it's a 50-50 thing. And it's like, to even add on to it, he even goes on to say, he goes, never once did I say iRacing isn't competitive, difficult, fun, or useful to learn tracks, or that I hate it, or wouldn't do it if I had time. Hate my guts all you want for making the comment, but support your local short tracks in 2020. They are the foundation of NASCAR. So,
Boy, they must hate William Byron then.
yeah. So, I mean, I see the negative and I see the positive out of it. So, want to kind of go around, we'll kind of get people's thoughts and we can continue into the topic because I can go on for days with this one. So.
Yeah, I figured this would be a good meaty one. Maddie, I know you've not heard it. This is your first time hearing that tweet and all that. What are your thoughts?
I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and I mean, it's what the guy thinks. So I don't see any wrong in them having a media day and supporting the drivers that they signed for this esports league. I mean, it's what they do.
How about
That's
you?
true.
How about you, James?
I see nothing wrong with it. It's come a long way, especially with all the new motion gadgets and stuff to really make it more realistic.
Yeah. I kind of see it as like I knew at some point that somebody was going to kind of poo-poo on it. It's just what happens. I know the NASCAR community as a whole, the Cup Series, the big three, they're probably going to be more accepting to it because a lot, they're doing a lot with esports, and esports, whether some of these short track guys like it or not, it's going to be a thing. It's going to happen. It's just how it is. The company is evolving. They're trying to find more fans, and a lot of fans in today's day and age of auto racing, sim races, whether it be on your Xbox, PlayStation, PC iRacing. It's just going to happen. But I do realize that, where he's probably coming from. He's won 6 modified championships, and he's not getting any recognition from what because I've never heard of the guy. I don't watch NASCAR that much. But, I could see a guy in his position winning these championships and doing this and that, and he can't get a ride. Meanwhile, a guy like William Byron or Denny Hamlin can pop him on the sim and be really good at it and get a ride. I mean, I could see why he hates it.
I mean, it just boils down to money, 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 and who you know now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you got the money to buy a ride.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. If you got money to buy a ride, but nowadays, I mean, I could honestly at one point in time see the peak champion, if they're old enough, being able to get a shot in a car at some point. That's how invested I see iRacing or NASCAR really is, and I mean, he's probably going to get a lot of hate because there is going to be a lot of those people.
This tweet, I'm going through the thread of the
tweet.
Yeah,
go ahead.
And I mean, it's just crazy. Like the people just bashing him and just being like, they don't even really know who he is. Because I mean, I'm going through and reading it, and it says, he goes, "Hey man, if you want to support local short track racing, feel free to join us in the iRacing Chili Bowl." And then you got one. You guys, I'm not going. This one was written by Andrew Carnelli. I'm not going to say either side is right or wrong, but you can take the social media and complain about it and put in work to make that happen in whatever you choose to race, whether it is sim racing or real life racing.
Yeah, I mean,
And here's another guy too. I know him personally, Tanner Sharp. Got disabilities with his hands and stuff, so he races in the league Sim Possible, I think it's called. He goes,
Yeah.
how's it wrong? He goes, there's people out there who maybe have disabilities like myself in life or whatever their case may be, who would ever love to have an opportunity like that, and there are some. It's just a new way of an opportunity to grow the sport and iRacing in the future. Which, I mean, he is not wrong.
No, absolutely not. I mean, NASCAR. There's been some tracks that NASCAR's been taking seats out of because they can't fill them.
Yeah, and this one right here too, Matt Lewis. He wrote on Twitter. He goes, "Sponsorship dollars follow trends. Always will be.
Yeah.
Every sport is trying to use esports to grow engagement. With whether you go from Madden, NBA, NHL, NASCAR, some are better than others, some are worse than others. But if I were a real driver who needed money, I would find a way to participate and help with the trend instead of crapping on them. Maybe that's just me."
Yeah, I mean, I see. Yeah, I knew somebody was going to open up the can of worms about this subject. So it's going to be a rough one, and we'll see how it goes from here on out. You know?
And it's like another one. The last one I'll read. This is from Bottom Split, from the Bottom Split Night in America crew. They go, most of these real race car drivers you're talking about also drive race cars on iRacing at a high level, which is the majority of the reason why it's gotten so big, because people see they can race with real NASCAR drivers. And that's why it's gotten so big that they're doing a media day now. iRacing esports have came a hell of a long way to get to even this point, and it's only going to go further.
Yeah. I mean, why not? Why can't we have them both? I mean, again, like I just said, tracks were getting rid of seats because nobody wants to come see it, or they can't sell it. So why not use the esports? Maybe somebody tuned into NBC and saw that, and it's like, oh, that's cool. I want to try that out. Maybe they get on here, get them computer, get all the whole setup, and they get involved in this, and then maybe they decide, hey, maybe I want to go to races again. Maybe I want to get the passion back. I mean, I tell you right now, from my personal experience, I've shunned NASCAR. Everybody knows it from the whole group. I'm not really a NASCAR guy, but I get on iRacing and kind of get the bug to start going to tracks, and I have a track 20 minutes down the road from me that I've went to last year, to get the spark. And it's old Florence Speedway dirt track, really fun to go to. I mean, it's a fun night, but I could see it all being good for the sport, and I just think a lot of his comments, whether right or wrong, I think came out of a lot of jealousy because some guys are getting more recognition than him for his accomplishments.
Yeah, and it's like, to go back on it too, is like, I see what Irish is trying to do, because I mean, most of these people that was at the media day, they are in the 18 to 24 age demographic. Yeah, you got a few older ones, probably like Ray Alfala, Brad Davies, all that. I mean, but you got to go back and look. The 2019 Peak Series Championship, Zach Novak, 17 years old, senior in high school, and iRacing in the biggest stage of them all on iRacing in the Pro Series. So, I mean, they're trying to reach that new demographic. Yeah, I'm sure all them Peak guys are, well, it's not even Peak anymore. I always say Peak, like the Busch Series. All these guys, they're young, and people will be like, hey, I want to be like them, and they may be able to start watching NASCAR. They may have never even heard of NASCAR before. But, I mean, it's just the way the cookie crumbles. It's the way the times are now. You got to follow a trend and go there. So, I mean, esports are the way to go. I mean, you got esports for Call of Duty, Madden, NBA. I mean,
yeah. I mean, there's literally almost an esport for anything anymore now.
I mean, it's going somewhere. Whenever I saw a tweet earlier today, it was from Evan Pizzoco. He's the Race Spot TV broadcaster, and from Twitch, YouTube, and I think Facebook streaming. the Peak Series was up 195% in viewership. So
Yeah. So that's great. I mean, I think this has probably been the most successful year they've had Peak, but it just goes back to the inside information that I heard a while back with Peak is NASCAR really got on the iRacing about doing getting more involvement because NASCAR was not liking the product of the Peak Antifreeze series at that point because they just thought people were just riding around and collecting prize money. And they did give them the warning like, hey, we're bringing all this in, you guys need to get their act together, which is why, I mean, we've seen a lot of people kind of fall out of Peak that were staples at one point, and now we have a lot of new faces, and a lot of people are really, once you make it to Peak, I mean, you get kind of taken care of from the iRacing community. So
yeah, for sure.
yeah. All right. Anything else before we move on to why we're all here?
I mean, I think it pretty much wraps it up.
Yeah.
I mean, we covered the whole topic. I mean, there wasn't really nothing that dropped this week. Well, actually, there was one thing. I know a lot of people. I know you don't really go to. I don't know Panko goes to any races, but I seen the other day on Twitter, Verizon is investing in NASCAR this season and beyond, helping tracks get better cell phone coverage all across the country. So I know that's a big problem at some tracks, especially right down the road from you, Brian, Kentucky Speedway. I know when I went there 2
Big
years
problem at
ago.
Daytona.
Yeah, I know when I went there 2 years ago at Kentucky, it felt like you was living in 1998 because you could not call anybody. And
I get what you're saying. I remember. This is the only thing I could really put it to, but when I went to WrestleMania in New Orleans, being there, like the 3G or whatever, 4G or whatever, was like really bad. You couldn't really do anything because there was so much. I guess so many people off the one service. So I think that'll be a really good move for NASCAR. Hopefully, a lot of these tracks get it.
Also, other news I just seen it drop too. Junior Motorsports announces that Hellman's extended their partnership and confirms that Dale Earnhardt Jr. will be racing the number 8 Hellman Chevrolet Camaro at the Homestead Miami Speedway
Nice.
in its new race date in March. I think it's March 18th. Don't quote me on it, but I think it's around that
So
date.
that means we won't see him at the Southern.
Nope, we'll not see him at the Southern Pub.
I think this is what the best we're gonna get out of Junior. It's just a race here and there,
Keep your feet wet, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's gonna pull Mark Martin. Say he's retired, do a race here and there, and then he's gonna all of a sudden come out full time.
So I got a question about iRacing for you guys.
Okay.
Do you see a day and time that where iRacing just may totally replace real life racing?
No. I mean, some people would say yes, some people would say no. But that's like the topic we was having last night, even though some of them disagreed with me. I said NASCAR is on the verge of a revolution of going back upwards. Will it ever get to the way it was back in the 80s and 90s? No.
Only if they lower the ticket price.
Well, yeah, but it won't get back to the way it was in the 90s because, I mean, you don't have these pure drivers like you had Earnhardt, you had Petty, you had Yarborough, Allison, Gordon, Labonte, and all that. I mean, most of these drivers now, they're 19, 20 years old coming into the Cup Series.
Yeah.
I was like,
I could see it. Because eventually, we will have to. I don't know. It would be weird. I could see NASCAR doing another variant of Peak, and having like all the big name drivers racing together. I believe Joe Gibbs had a kind of.
They still do.
Yeah,
they have it's like an off-season series.
Yeah, well, a lot of the guys.
I think their PR guy, Denny Hamlin, a bunch of their crew guys all race with other. They invite some drivers to come out and race.
It's interesting. I mean, I really don't have an answer for that, but I could see it, but then I couldn't see it.
I mean, what are they going to do if and when they ever go to electric hybrid cars? I would quit watching it.
or they're gonna create a new fuel for them for cars only. I don't know. I don't know. Only a feature could tell. But
Yep.
Yep. So I guess here's what we all came here for: the highlights for our first preseason race at Daytona for the K&N series. The only cars that's been on the track this season. Guys, 28 people showed up. It was really fun. You know, a lot of returning faces, a lot of new faces. Guys excited for the season, and I could sit there honestly say it was a learning race. We had some couple quick cautions there. Looking at our stats here, we had 5 cautions for 20 laps with 8 lead changes. I guess we can go down the list of the guys that were there. Let's see who finished where. I guess we could go to Matty, who was in 4th position. He started 17th. Didn't lead any laps, and looks like you had about 12 incidents.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not a good race for Matty D. Clark. Yeah, being a team owner and spotting all at the same time. Good thing they don't come out of my pocketbook.
Yeah, of course there was some incidents there.
Oh yeah, the setup was decent. It wasn't that great. It could have been a little better. Could have been more stable.
Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of guys moving around, and I believe he did another Nick. Shout out to Nick here. He actually did another test. I think the next day, testing a new version of the setup, and a lot of the guys are saying it's a lot better. So we'll have.
Yes, we did test that.
Yes, I think he raised the car up a little bit more, didn't he?
Yeah.
All we did was try to get the front bumper and rear bumper about level. And unfortunately, it is going to make it a little more squirrely because we took it a little out of the air.
So yeah, I know I've.
But
seen,
hey, at least the bumper's going to match up.
Yeah, I've seen some people get some pretty awesome runs by themselves. It was a little squirrely, but I guess we'll get into it. I believe we had our first caution was I want to say a netcode incident with or no, was it the netcode incident with LaFlame and Rusty?
The first one,
Yeah.
the first one, that was a net code. I mean, it was really weird. I mean, LaFlame, he was blinking all night that night, so it was really weird how that wreck happened, and you couldn't really go back to see anything because it just kind of like booted him, and then he come back. So.
Yeah, I know. I did show some videos for some incidents that we had. Yeah, it just looked like he just moved up a little bit, but they had enough room for one car, and then just Rusty just got hit. Part of the squirreliness of, like Matty was saying, I believe we had 2 cautions within 11 laps. I forget what the other one was for. Believe it might have been the
Frank?
leaders again. Was it Frank?
I think it might have been Frank. It was whenever he got that Skype call.
Oh, that was the 3rd caution.
That was the 3rd
merging.
caution. Yeah.
That was
Actually,
the merging
I
caution.
could go back here and we can look at the cautions. The first caution on lap 2, it said caution for none. That was probably the incident with Flame and Rusty. And then we had a caution for car number 20. That was the 2nd caution of the night. And then, let's see here. Scroll down. Yeah, we had a caution for slow car involving the 08 of Frank Dawson. And then we had a caution involving the 87. I think that was your brother, Robert Pinko.
I claim no relationship.
I wound up rear-ending him in one of the big wrecks. It was on accident. I was trying to get out of the way, but I think we had a fast repair at that point, and so it was like, it was like it happened, whatever. And yeah, we was able to get green flag pit stops, and we had a caution. I believe that was when Frank was getting the Skype calls. Plus, they kind of
yeah, we had a caution in the middle of the green flags.
Yeah. So it worked out for me, Joel, and Ronnie, and I think Matty was around there too. I think he kind of benefited. It was kind of a little clustered. I know we had a car merging on the backstretch, which he held his line, and I know 2 cars got by. The other one kind of moved late way too late. I mean, he should have still been up. He should have been up on the high side, just getting by him. But he didn't, and it caused the car behind him to check up. I believe believe Panko, your brother, was involved in that one, or that might have been Jonathan Christopher. And
Yeah, he
I
was
think
involved in that one.
Yeah, that was the one that kind of
'Cause
checked
he didn't
everything
finish.
up and got Frank. Yeah. So that was one of our last cautions. I think Nick actually got involved in a wreck there at the end to set up the green white checkered, and
Yeah, he did. That was when Levi tried coming up on the outside. Didn't make it.
yeah, that's when we was getting desperate with moves. But hey, I mean that's what the practice is for, to kind of maybe see if a move would work and maybe be able to use it during the season race here. But yeah, champion Nick Boyd finished 24th. I mean, so he must have finally lost the horseshoe. We can all hope.
It's Daytona. It's a horse crapshoot.
Yeah, it really is, and that set up the green white checkered. Me and Ronnie battling to the line, and yeah, I was able to eke him out for the win. I led 2 laps and had 8 incidents. So
I think I got my first top 10.
yeah,
I was there with you guys. Just had a little right front damage.
yeah, I know you. I think you were trying to go for the win there. And,
No, I see. I thought I could get past Ronnie if I was close enough, but I was too far away, so I tried
Yeah.
pushing him.
Yeah, it's like you thought you was gonna get by him for a second, and then you're like, well, shit, I better go
Yeah.
help, and then, but it was just too late.
And ended up 4th.
Yeah, so we had to recreate the Las Vegas finish that we had last season, which I was still. It was funny because like, I didn't have my mic on. I don't think at the time. So when he actually got under me, when he got me on the back stretch, I was like, man, that motherfucker is gonna do this again. And then I was able to hold it, and I think it might have been you that gave me the draft, and then I think Shiro helped me, and then me and him was just literally bumping like side by side all the way to the line, which me and Ronnie did that at Vegas, and he got me after I, bumped him out of the corner. So, I mean, at least, it's like like me and him says, if we're going to lose it like that, we might as well lose it to somebody we like. So it was fun. And hopefully that happens during the season, and I was able to pull that out. Again, yeah, Ronnie finished second. Strong run. He's really a contender that we have for the in the championship for K&N. I think he's going to try to really go after that Xfinity and K&N title, so he can say he won all 3. Ryan Shiro, new guy. He finished third. Had a strong run. He qualified 5th, so he pretty much stayed in the top 5 the entire time.
Came right by me at the line.
Yeah. And Matty, yeah, you finished 4th. You started 17th, so you started in the back, and you kind of picked your way up through there.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler Davis, I know we haven't said much of him. I know he ran a little bit last year. He brought it home in 5th, so...
Started 26th.
Yep, strong. He had a strong outing. I think that might have been his best outing he's had in ERA since he ran in with us. So I'll see if I can't bring up his results here. Technical difficulties. But yeah, he also changed to the 45 this year. I believe we had him. He was in the 70. I think he pretty much took over for a guy that quit the league or something. And I guess for you people that might pick this up to listen to randomly for ERA, we have owner standings where if the event of a guy quits or a guy can't make a race, we just shove a person in that car. The car gets points. So that's pretty much what we do. Actually, he has 2 top 5s going off his standings. He has one at Milwaukee and one at Myrtle Beach, so he might be more of a short track guy. Or no, he has Milwaukee and Vegas was his 2 top 5s. So
yep.
Other than that, not really. Nothing jumps off the table, but he only made about 9 starts. So big things might come from him at some point. Joel Rogue, who we recently signed last season, really came on strong. Led about 3 laps, and he was a guy that really benefited from the pit stop. He actually, I believe, finished. I want to say he finished 10th in points last year.
I'm thinking that's correct, Brian.
Yep, 8th position. So that was probably one of his best runs all season. Yeah, I believe if it would have ended, he would have. Trying to bring all the stuff up at once. But yeah, he would have. That would have been his 5th top 10 if that was actual season. But yeah, he finished with about 8 incidents. Then you had Alex Boyd started 11th, son of Nick Boyd. He actually had a really strong outing for himself. He led 8 laps. 14 incidents. I know a lot of people are expecting big things from Alex. Alex is going to have a decent year. I know. Somebody did predict Alex in our prediction show. Somebody did predict Alex to maybe get a win this year.
Yeah, he had a lot of seat time last year in and out of the league, practicing for league events. So I know he ran a few of the road to Cup races that we held back there in the month of December, and so I mean he's just working his way up. I think Nick was talking about the other day he might be running some Cup races.
I believe
For
Nick
Boyd
is.
Esports, so I think him and Alex will be splitting that ride with others
Yeah,
throughout the season.
Yep, I believe he does. He was gonna have a bunch of them fill in and see where we go from there. Rusty Capel, who finished 2nd in Cup points last season, started 4th. He brought it home in 8th. Wound up leading. Actually, he had about 12 incidents, and he didn't lead any laps. So, kind of mediocre day for Rusty. And I believe, James, you got 9th, buddy. Started 8th.
I knew I was in there somewhere.
Yep, you had 8 incidents, so you had a pretty decent top 10 outing. And then Timothy Smith, I believe he's the last car that finished on the lead lap, was finished 10th. He started 14th, had 11 incidents. Don't think he led a lap on here.
Did not. The only other drivers outside the top 10 that led laps was Levi Zielinski. He finished 12th. He led 10. And Frank Dawson, shout out to Frank. I mean, he's been through a lot in the last few months. And, I mean, I hate that he got wrecked the other night. But he led 18 laps. So, I mean, good thing to see out of Frank. He's been working throughout the off season on top of everything he's had on his plate to just get better at sim racing. So, big things out of Frank.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of shocked us all that he got the pole there, but he did win our very first preseason race that we had back a couple years back. You guys were, I don't even think, around for any of it. We actually had it was when I was doing the races on our own little pre-broadcast, and let's just say it was so bad that I was like, I can't put this on YouTube at all. So Frank actually did win his very first race in the preseason.
Yeah.
So overall, though, because we did have the preseason race a few years back, or about a few seasons ago at Daytona. This one had a really good turnout. I mean, I believe and the cautions wasn't that bad. I wish I could bring the old one up. I probably could if I dug far enough. But 28 out of the 38 guys that signed up showed up. So all in all, it was a success. Solid. I'd say it's about a solid 3-star race. What do you guys give it out of a scale of 1 to 5? What do you guys give that race?
For having the new guys come in and race with some of the veterans that we have over here in the RA, I'd give it a pretty good. I'd say about 3.5-star race. I mean, yeah, there was a few things, but I mean that's what we were there for, to kind of get the bugs out of the system, try new things, and seeing what didn't work and what worked. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be a little biased. I'm going to give it 4 because I got a top 10 and beat my brother.
Oh God. I'd say that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be like you guys going back and forth, ain't it? That's gonna be you guys all season.
Yeah, I'll give anyone a sandwich who takes him out.
Oh, that'll be really fun to see. How about you, Maddie?
I'm gonna give it about a 3.75.
375.
375.
I'm gonna go right in between Cody and James.
Yeah. That's fair because I see like at the beginning it seemed like we had our it was kind of the get to know phase. Like
Yeah,
there's
get
a
to
lot
know. We had our issues.
yeah, we worked by
Just wait for tonight, fellas.
yeah.
Oh, Richmond's gonna be fun.
Yeah, Richmond will be tonight.
Nick's
Jesus.
might have to update the setup.
I messaged him. He said it's all fine. It's all good. So yeah, I'll
Okay.
be getting the setup here in a second and
Yeah, I
fixing
just
up
ran it.
that
It's not
room.
that bad.
yeah. We just gotta again like I told everybody in the room is like, hey, this is gonna be a train wreck. Accept it. Accept it, and then we get better. You know, like I said, we had I had 4 videos of stuff that we needed to work on. Tabor,
Wind tunnel.
Sorry, moving around.
I know the first one was I think Tim was trying to drop in. I guess the spotter said he's cleared. He kept going. And it was on me, and I mean I should have backed off. It was 2 laps in. I could have backed off and let him in, but I kind of I didn't think he was going all the way down. And it kind of set him in the wall. Kind of ruined his race, but I mean, he stayed with it the entire race, so I have to give him credit for that. Also, we had an incident with like I said, with the car merging. Guys that are faster need to. I mean, and this is something we've had issues with in the past, not merging, but like with a slower car, like communicate. Like if you're faster than them, you should be able to get around them, no problem. Take the high side for a change and just go. You ain't gotta have that low side all the time, but then again, communicate with him. Be like, hey, you could have been like, hey, you can come up now, you're good, or hey, I'm gonna come high. That's something I think that even iRacing, the community really needs to work on. Is just a lot more communication amongst themselves. Was there any other big like takeaways from this race that like we could think of to really work on from any of you guys that were there?
I mean, I know I'm not racing the K&N series this year, but I mean, my biggest thing I saw was just kind of like people more further in the back, and I mean, it could have just been pre-race jitters and everything, and just some of the people were just all kind of like over the place.
Yeah.
It kind of sorted itself out after a while. So.
Yeah, no, I get that, and that's always been a K&N thing. A lot, like, and this is nothing against anybody that sits in the back all the time. Like, nothing against any of you guys, because 9 times out of 10, it is the guys that are just trying to get seat time and just trying to learn, and like that's why I try to tell all these like really really fast guys, like, do not start in the back, because that's when we get into the thing of where the guy that's faster than you is trying to force stuff that maybe that guy in the back ain't too comfortable with. So I mean, that's something I think could be worked on a lot, and something maybe some of these fast guys really need to take into consideration when they decide to start in the back or get themselves in that predicament.
Yeah.
So, yep. Richmond, I believe as we're recording this, it'll be Tuesday. I'm going to try to get this out, maybe try to get this all done by tonight, hopefully. Season's getting a week closer. I believe I got us starting on the 18th. I believe Xfinity and Cup are going to be starting around the week of the 10th, so it'll be like what, the 12th, 13th, or 12th and 13th. Correct,
yeah, it should be
Tabor?
the 12th and 13th. Yeah, that'll be the beginning of speed weeks for ERA.
Yeah.
They'll launch with the Xfinity race on Wednesday night. Not for sure how long that race is. I say it'll probably be about 80 laps, and because I think that's following the B Open schedule, right?
I believe so. I've still got to post that schedule up there for everybody. So.
And then the Cup race, it'll be on Thursday night, and that should be 100 laps.
Yep, Daytona 500. So, boys, have we hit everything? Is there anything else we're missing?
The only thing we have not hit is the wall yet, so
Didn't we do that last week?
Probably
and
did.
we'll be doing it tonight.
Yeah, it'll be a mess. Maddie, James, Tabor, any parting words?
I think we covered a lot of good topics today, and hopefully we get some good feedback on it, and
Yeah.
catch you back up next week.
Absolutely. So, all right, this is the end of our portion of the podcast. I will be attaching the interview with Ronnie Head, which was pretty entertaining. I kind of had some jumbled up schedules, so I tried to. It was kind of a short interview, but I tried to get what I could. I hope you guys all enjoy it, and please like, comment, subscribe, give us feedback, anything that helps, and we will see you out on the track. See you later. Ladies and gentlemen, right here with me, I have a man that I have known since I have started my sim racing career. A man from Georgia, Atlanta, GA, that is, who this year won his very first league championship with 3 wins, 10 top 5s, 16 top 10s, and probably one of the funniest son of a bitches in the league, Mr. Ronnie Head.
Happy to be here. That's quite the intro you got.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying the old Pat McAfee intro style. I'm trying to get there, but
Everybody tries, you succeed.
I appreciate that. So Ronnie, like I said, me and you go way back to about 2008, the night that Ryan Newman literally won the Daytona 500. That was the night I started my first league in a day. I guess at one point we'll get to that, but so I guess the first question right off the bat I asked Mr. Wall is, how did you get into auto racing, and what was your memories of, I guess jumping into NASCAR and liking what you were watching?
All right, so it started from a really young age because my dad's best friend had a dirt late model, and we'd go racing every weekend. So I was at the track all the time growing up. That was the only thing I cared about and just about was going to the races, and other than racing would be football and stuff. I didn't really care about much else, and I didn't watch NASCAR much growing up, but we all really liked playing the games, and the run with what John was saying in the last one is that '04 game was unbelievable. I played it till the disc broke just about because it was great. But I finally started watching NASCAR probably whenever I got into high school. Dad and I would sit down and watch all the races, and we still do that every Sunday where we try to. So I enjoy watching it and follow it pretty closely now.
That's great. And I know everybody that the '04 memories of NASCAR Thunder is with a lot of us. I mean, I play it too. I actually still have like 2 or 3 copies of it.
That had a good soundtrack too. Games don't have soundtracks like that anymore.
No, they don't. I completely agree. But so what were your memories of like maybe the first league that you joined, or how did you find out about leagues, and what brought you there?
We were all just on, refresh my memory, was it '08, NASCAR 08?
Yes, it was NASCAR 08.
The first time I ever even thought about a league was when we all talked about it that day and decided to start one. I had never really thought about it, and I was like, you know what, let's do this. It sounds like a good time, so we did, and it was a mess and a half, to put it lightly, but everybody had a good time.
Yeah.
Obviously, because some of us are still around.
Yeah, no, it is. Like me, I believe you, Toby is like well, actually, yeah, Toby came the week after we started the season. Me and you have technically been here like since day one.
Yep.
Like the day one guys. We're like Richard Petty and Kel Yarborough, I guess you could say.
Do we get any special treatment because of that, or are we just sort of like, hey, look at these old relics?
I think it's look at these old relics at this point anymore.
Awful.
So you got into there in iCar in '08, and I believe you had a couple wins. I believe me and you both finished top 5 in points that year, and then I believe you did the season after, and then I think you got into your
we got into college and had had to hang it up there for a while, and then they didn't have any good NASCAR games in my opinion after that point. So I didn't start racing again until maybe I think it was 3 years ago when I
Yeah.
finally made the jump over to iRacing and
Yep.
haven't looked back since.
Yeah, you made I mean, it was one of them out of the blue comebacks. It's like randomly one day, hey, I'm
Hey.
getting iRacing and coming back, and
He's
then
back.
yeah, then you came back. So
Yep.
yeah, we get on iRacing. You wind up winning your first championship this year.
Mhm.
Really strong season. It's probably one of the best seasons you've put together in your entire.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not gonna downplay it. I did what I had to do, and I had a whole lot of outside help by my buddy missing several races this season because I wouldn't have wanted if he was there every week.
yeah,
But
Jonathan
but
Wong.
I'm still got the championship, so ain't nobody take that away from me. In the words of everybody's sort of favorite announcer, Darrell Waltrip, you can't take that from me.
No, you can't. And you had a 3-win season. I mean, even.
Oh yeah, I was ecstatic. I stole one from you in Vegas.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was a nice one. The whole bump. And we recreated that. I guess we're gonna probably talk about that with the guys on the version before this. Is the whole Daytona finish that we just recently had.
That was a darn good finish.
The replay, yeah. But yeah, other than that, so how has your experience been on iRacing? You've been on the old NASCAR 08 and 09. I mean, that was a very fond time in our histories. But how are you enjoying iRacing now since you've made that jump?
Oh, it's to me, it's light years difference. Like you didn't know what you didn't know, sort of like we all had a good time on the Xbox and stuff, but then we came over here, and it's a whole different animal. It's a lot. To me, it's a blast. I can't imagine ever going back unless they have something unbelievable. But I don't see it happening. Like I can't imagine doing anything else. I don't even like playing any racing games other than this now because it just doesn't feel the same.
No, I agree with you there because I do the same thing. What advice would you have for those new people that maybe or because as we were just talking earlier, we have esports is starting to become a thing. I know NBC is starting to play it ain't Peak anymore, but the eNASCAR, like the main series, they've been posting races on there, and I'm sure somebody's gonna see that and be like, I want to do that, and they're gonna get it. You got any advice for those people?
I'm gonna go with what John said, among a couple other things. Like you got to race. Go run the official races because you'll be matched up with guys that are relatively close to your talent level, and you're going to get better as the more you keep going. If you're not getting better, like you're not going to succeed. So just keep running, stick with it, and if you need help, there's a whole group of guys here that are more than willing to help you. That know a thing or two, I'd say. Then on top of that, you need to find what your equipment you're using. If you tell me what kind of pedals, what kind of wheel you're using, and then maybe Google it and see what kind of settings that some other people are running, because maybe you're not running the correct sort of settings like I was. Because when I first got this G29, it was pretty new. Nobody really had nobody else in the league had it, so I didn't know what to do. And I Googled it, and there wasn't anything out. So I'm running, and the driver's got me at 100% sensitivity, and looking back, it's supposed to be at 50. So I'm out here bouncing off the walls like a bat without any echolocation. It's just a bad situation. So you need to make sure you're running your right settings and all that stuff. And I'd suggest Google instead of the forums, because if you're using the forum, you're going to need a GPS, a map, a local guide, and local knowledge of the wildlife in the area, because otherwise you're going to get lost. It's impossible to find stuff in the forum without spending a majority of your day. So Google stuff, please.
Yeah, YouTube can be a good reference as well. Yeah, the forums.
Maybe ask some guys on Twitch, because we were watching a stream the other night, and I noticed a guy, he had a G29 like I did, and when he was at Darlington, I just had cut a few laps earlier that day, And I'm looking, I'm said, this guy's not hardly turning the wheel at all. I'm over here fighting this thing like trying to reel in a 500-pound swordfish, and this guy's barely turning the wheel. So one of the guys messaged him and said, "Hey, do you want to help us out? Say what kind of settings you're using?" And he told us. And sure enough, I still didn't have my settings correct, so I had to change something else. And I've picked up a lot of time since then. So just always be looking at that sort of stuff and bounce ideas off of people. We'll get faster one way or another.
Yep, it's all about trying to get faster, and I know we've all been in that spot. I mean,
Yeah,
like
gosh, you don't
yeah.
know what you don't know. You did. I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, it true. I mean, there's probably settings I haven't even fixed because I now have a G29, and I probably have to go through stuff myself. But I guess we can get into your season this year or last year. You I believe you finished like 4th in the K&N standings. You had a good K&N season.
Yeah.
To back that Cup season up, and you went from CPD racing to you signed with Longshot with me,
right?
Which logical fit. And
yep.
So tell me what made you want to make the jump to Longshot from CPD.
Well, it was a couple different things. I really like everybody on that team, but it felt more like home here because it was me, you, and Toby, and I've known y'all for I guess going on over, what is that? I can't do math very well. That's over 12 years now.
Uh-huh.
Like we've known each other forever, and I love JC, Frank, and all of them over there. But I've known y'all longer, and I I didn't want to put them in a situation where if something happened to me, I feel like I let them down because you guys, stuff with me. Sometimes it's just you don't you. It's easier to work with some people that you've known longer and they get it a little more.
Yeah.
I don't know, just something sort of like that. That and the logo looks cooler. I love Frank's logo, but we come up with a real good one for this team.
Yeah, that'll be on the track soon. As we recently signed John Diekman in the Xfinity Series to take over the 28, so he'll be rocking that logo, full. But
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. So again, this season coming. I mean, this is going to be the first time I think me and you have done a full season, like a full 36 race schedule since that very first year. So, I mean, hopefully we have the stamina for it and we can not want to kill ourselves midway through the season.
I sure hope so. Because I got to looking at it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is a long one.
Yeah.
Just got to take it 1 week at a time and keep plugging away and make sure it happens. But it's like we always say, we don't run the chase, so just be consistent every week and try not to blow up or get tore up. And then they always say whoever loses at school first loses. So just got to keep a level head and keep plugging away.
Yep. So I guess we're gonna cut it here, Ronnie. You got any parting words for the fans listening right now?
Not really.
Oh my god.
No, it's just I'm looking forward to the season. I guess all 3 of them. We'll do our best. I'm really focusing on Tuesday and Wednesday. I know there's a few guys that are going to be absolutely ready to go for the Thursday series. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm try my best to win a championship this year, but I severely doubt that it's going to happen on the Thursday series. So I'm going to try my best to make it happen on Tuesdays or Wednesdays.
Well, hey, you win Tuesday and Wednesdays, you can be the guy to win a championship in all 3 series. So there's that. There's that record to go for.
True. Shoot for records. Aim high. And if
Correct.
you miss, you're still ahead of some other people.
All right, Ronnie. Good. Appreciate you with the interview, and we'll see you on the track.
Sounds good, Brian.